Flory Models Friday show. Here we have a look back over the week to see exactly what we've been up to, what's happened in the vlogs, what we've had into the site and everything else like that. Slightly different from us, not quite like the old Friday shows we used to do, but obviously a lot more in depth than the standard sort of normal day, if you like, when we do the show. So here we have a look back at the vlogs and we take all the best bits from this week and we put it into one show. So no longer do you have to watch me all week. You can do, obviously, I'd love you to join me, but if you don't, then obviously we can have a look here, and also I can answer some of your questions that have cropped up during the week, okay, and cover other little bits and pieces that we need to do on a Friday show. So anyway, on Monday, Shuttle Tidarium, again, fantastic kit. I know people hate it. I don't know why some people really knock it. You know, I've been a professional model maker now for the last full-time income 17 years. That's all I've done, and I love it. And I think it's really, really good, and they're great. And as I say, we have the Star Destroyer just over here on its nice stand and everything else like that. And, you know, at the end of the day, I just think these are a great way to engage with the kids. And as I say, a lot of you know I've got this big thing now trying to get kids into the hobby and to try and get them sort of, you know, just into that way of scale modelling and everything else like that. And then hopefully they develop a little bit of an interest in it. They get the hook, they get the bug, and then before you know it, they're wanting to buy a mainstream kit. And again, we'll look at this guy later on, but this could be a great little way into them. So anyway, we went through the motions of this one completely, from just building it straight out of the box to upgrading it, updating it, fixing a few little problems onto it, painting, weathering and everything else like that. It was a little simple one-day build. It went together exceptionally well and I do absolutely love it. It turned out really, really well. So that was up on Monday. So it was the full thing. It was around about an hour to watch. As I say, a lot of fun. Causes a lot of controversial type of, you know, comments and stuff like that here and there. But generally, I think most of you are on my sort of wavelength with this one, that yes, if you want to do it as a model kit, go and buy the older ones and stuff like that that's out there for them. But if you just want to have a little bit of fun with it and you perhaps a bit more creative with it and stuff like that, these are little great kits, and again, they won't break the bank. They're not too expensive. Well, apart from the ATAT, which is stupid money and all the rest of it. Tuesday. Okay, now Tuesday, this is where it all goes a bit awry for Tuesday, Wednesday. I did a private message, which wasn't a PM as in all your inboxes, guys. It was just a private talk to the members of Flory Models on the forum. I did a video, I had a chat with you for half an hour, face to face on camera. Now, I know obviously a lot of you aren't members and you just watch us here on YouTube and all the rest of this, which is absolutely fine. We're great to have you along. But basically, I was just explaining to the membership how I'd become disillusioned, disheartened, and I was just under so much pressure to produce videos and content for this that I was just caught in, I described it as a flood or a tide. I was pushing back, producing content which was like a wall in front of me, and it was just getting closer and closer, and we came to Christmas time and I was just swamped because as fast as I was doing it, I was editing it, it was up onto YouTube and then, you know, up onto the site and everywhere else, and literally that's all I was doing, and I just felt completely exhausted, for want of a better word, a polite word. So basically I had a chat with the guys on the site and everything else like that, and the gist of it really was how I see a new future for Flory Models, one that I can work a lot better in, and a lot of it is going back to how we used to be perhaps 5 years ago. Okay, so a lot of you don't realise I've been doing this for 17 years. Flory Models in its guise as you see it right now as in the site is 7 years, but actually it's been going before that, because that was when it was Pro Modeler, was 7 years ago, sorry, 10 years ago. Before that, again, 4 years before that, we had another site. So we've actually been going 14 years technically doing what we do here, before YouTube was around, before everything. And it was a lot more personal, it was a lot more intimate, and I used to just produce videos, and as I produced them, they went up. And that was really it. That's all I had to do. I was producing a video a week, and basically it. But then obviously, as things evolved, as you want to make things better, as things grew from being that little room, that suddenly we've turned into this sort of, you know, giant snowball going down the hill. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but I'm getting thinner and thinner and thinner, trying to cope with it all. So basically, I've pulled it back in. I'm just trying to get control of my destiny and my workload, and also, to be honest, I want to put the fun back into it, because I'm just producing so much quantity of stuff, the quality was slipping. And really that was the sort of message I was trying to get over. I want to stop doing the quantity and bring back the quality. Okay, so by doing that is literally one video build at a time. So I'm only going to do one video working on one thing. So for instance, the Meteor, where it got sidelined completely, we've brought out 6 videos since I started that one. So that's it. So from now on, if I start a build, I will sit here until it's finished. Doesn't matter how big or how small, I'm only going to be doing one build at a time now, okay? And the other thing as well is to do bigger builds. Now I know a lot of you reading into your comments, and this is what this show is about, are a little bit worried. Obviously I'm just going to do that thing of doing 1/32 and throwing loads of money at it and these giant super builds and all the rest of it. Don't get me wrong, I do love doing the big stuff. That's what I like to do. It's my art form and all the rest of it, and it stretches my skills and various things like that, and tests me and just basically gives you guys that big wow factor to it. But I understand, obviously, not everyone can afford to do these giant things. But the big thing is when I'm working on this big stuff, it's good because I can physically show you what I'm doing. So for instance, when I'm working on something, you know, that's bigger like this, I can get the cameras right in here. You can see exactly what I'm doing. But if I'm doing it on smaller items, you can't see because my hands are in the way or my tools are in the way and the various bits and pieces like that. So it might be like wiring up an engine. So when I showed you the 1/32 one of doing it actually on the FW190, we're working on that engine, because it's 1/32, I could show you, you could see everything that was going on. If I was doing it on 1/72, you would never see anything. So it would just be tools, paintbrushes or whatever in there. The whole idea is you can see what's going on, so you can take those and then use them on 1/72, because I'm a great believer in, it doesn't matter what you're building. If you're building 1/44 or 1/16 scale, you're doing exactly the same thing. You're obviously allowing for scale effect and all those things, but the thing is, it's the same processes, it's the same techniques. The techniques and processes don't change, just slight color changes and things like that because you're allowing for scale. So that's the whole point of doing the big stuff, so you can see it. But fear not, everybody, I intend to still do the odd little stuff because I do enjoy the one-day builds, for instance. So the one-day builds, I know a lot of you really love that when we did things like the flanker and we did the blaster and the things like that. They are going to still be thrown in amongst it. I'm going to make a little window and we got a good day and I can say, oh, stuff it. We're going to put that to the side because we're going to do a one-day build, finish it, it goes out of the way, and then I carry on with the said item as if nothing ever happened. But it's not like having a half-built something there and a half-built thing there, and we've got a tank over there, and we've got a ship there, and we've got a helicopter here. That's going to stop, okay? So it comes right the way down to it. The other thing as well, the live shows. We know a lot of you love them or hate them. They are a great thing, and I think they are the thing of the future. That's why I've pushed it so heavily. That's why we've invested so much money into it and everything else like that. So from that point of view, we're just going to scale it back a little bit so it's not just like a flood of hours and hours and hours of videos. So me and Steve, for instance, will still do our Q&A day, but it's going to be a general thing, not just Q&As and that's it. We'll cherry pick the best questions. So you'll put the questions up and then we can show you live right there. I'll show you one way of doing it, Steve might do another, Hans might be on, he might show you another way of doing it. So that way you get better quality information over just quantity of the same questions every now and again pop up and we just answer them the same and we go through, okay? That's the thing to it. So again, just smaller shows, shorter shows, so it'll be like a 1 hour Q&A show. We'll pick the best questions for that week. We'll show you the answers to them. We can then, you know, categorize them, log them, so you can find those answers to those questions at any point on the main site and stuff like that. So all the videos now will be tagged as well with all keywords in there. So if you needed to find something about, I don't know, metallic paints, for instance, you just put in metallic paints, you'll come up with these videos and it will show you and can say to you at 4 minutes 50 seconds in, it's all about it, and that way you can just go straight to that point, find the information you need, watch it and then move on, okay, and stuff like that. The big shows that we do, the Saturday show is going to move to a Sunday night. That way we can just do a little bit more with everybody around the world. And also from that point of view, it doesn't ruin my weekend so much because obviously I lose a Saturday every time we do them. And again, it's getting that work-life balance thing back and stuff like that. So by doing it Sunday night, it doesn't really interfere. The great thing as well is we can get Hans involved with it as well. So Hans can come on and say he is a wealth of information, all things modelling. He's a great untapped resource. He just doesn't know it yet. So we're going to be tapping him him and getting every last bit of information we can out of him. As I said, he's invested a lot of money as well into his new setup, into a new internet connection and everything else like that, so we can bring you quality stuff over quantity stuff. So instead of a big 4-hour thing, it might be a 2-hour thing on a Sunday night now, instead of a 4, 5, 6 hours we've even done before on a Sunday morning, which basically is all Saturday day time completely gone. Okay, and again, you guys watching it can't be bothered to sit through 6 hours of it, and you don't know where anything is amongst it. But again, we will keep notes exactly what times we're doing things, and then we will link links below. So when we are talking about painting tracks, you will be painting tracks 1 hour 20 minutes in, you'll click the link, it'll take you straight to that timeline, and you can watch it from there on. Little things like that. So hopefully, again, it's just going to bring better quality over the quantity of stuff. Again, I'm not just going to be knocking out builds left, right and centre. We're going to be picking the best stuff, cherry picking the best stuff to showcase tools, techniques, obviously airbrushing, the kits, everything will just become quality over quantity and everything else like that. And with all of my builds as well, they're going to change. The editing is one thing, it annoys me a bit because I want to produce a better edited experience, but I don't have time, because editing normally takes me, for every hour I record, takes 2 hours to edit. But again, I would like to make the editing even better, which will take me even longer to edit it, but if it's quality over the quantity of it. So again, I can show you better camera angles, I can pan stuff, I can do voiceover stuff for stuff that I perhaps mentioned incorrectly or want to just, add some more information to as I'm building, stuff like that. So that's the idea with it. So then that way you get a better quality video with better information in it, and visually better as well. So everything is really, really creme de la creme and top notch, exactly where I want it to be, rather than just producing a video because it's Monday and I need a video, if that makes sense. So that was really just the gist of it all, guys. Nothing else really changes, nothing really that affects everyone else. Yes, there is the thing with Sci-Fi Modeler, that's a completely different business venture that's happening between me and a couple of other guys that I'm helping to back and fund and things like that, and mentor them. I know a lot of you would love to be interested and get involved with it as well. Trust me, it's still in its early stages. We've been working on it for the last 3 or 4 months. To be honest, that's why a lot of this content was produced for that site as well and everything else. But it is something that will be coming up in the spring. And it was just, I wanted to make the membership aware that don't worry, nothing's going to change or anything else like that, because it was starting to get out that we were up to something. But as I said, that's something completely separate, and we'll be talking about that in the very near future. Okay, so on Wednesday, we were speaking about this. To be honest, we were hoping that we're going to get a delivery in that was going to have some engines for the Mosquito, the brand new Brezin with 32nd scale, gorgeous engines. Unfortunately, though, I didn't get them sent because we missed our allocation. But this did, which was actually something very, very nice. Now, this is up on the site today to actually have a look at the review of this one. I've reviewed it now, we've had a look at it. It's going to be a 2-parter. Okay, so for part 1, we've literally just reviewed the kit as a model kit. What I'm going to do is next week is put it together. Probably going to be like a 1-day build, as I said, still going to do this type of thing. We're going to put it together and see how well it actually goes together without glue. Is it as good as a Bandai kit, which is like phenomenal engineering and they just go together? Or is this just something with oversized locating pins which actually grip it, and you're still going to have big gaps, and in fact it's worse than a normal model kit? We don't know. So actually next week it's going to be part 2 of that review, and I'm going to put it together, and if it's any good we might even paint it. If it's terrible, I'll put the brakes on and say, yeah, okay, perhaps not, and we'll move through. But if it does go together really, really well with no need of glue and filler, we're even going to paint it, decal it, and do it all as a little 1-day build, probably Wednesday next week, okay? So it should be a little bit of fun with that one. But you can go off and you can see the review of that right now. Very interesting to have a look at it and to see what they've done, but the quality of the kit is just as good as anything that's out there for a Mustang in 1/48 scale, so it's really, really nice. The other thing we mentioned on Wednesday was we were saying about payment problems. Some of you obviously credit cards, they're funny things at the end of the day. They either get stolen, cloned, or they expire. That's usually why your subscription comes to an abrupt end. It never does. So we were explaining that if you have a membership with Flory Models, you have a subscription. Subscription, membership, they are completely separate things. If your subscription gets cancelled, doesn't mean you lose your membership. You'll always be given a month to try and fix the problem, okay? Or just shoot me a PM, you need more time. We're never that bad about it. You know, we've got guys who obviously have payment problems and personal problems. We're never ever that bad about it. But if we don't know, it will cancel your membership, okay? So what happens is people come along and they're saying, I can't get on the site, I don't understand why, yet you have been sent 10 emails over the last month telling you that there's a problem. So say, please don't ignore it. There's a brand new video now. So what happens when you do get that little message that comes up and takes you to a page when you log into Flory Models that says error, there's a little video there, you can watch that, and I explain what you need to do to get everything sorted out and be back to normal. So that's what we did then. Thursday, bench vent. Okay, so Thursday was a big day for us because obviously we were doing the bench vent. We plumbed in this new system. We were trying to work out the best way it works. And I know technically a lot of people are saying you need a hood and everything else like that, okay? But at the end of the day, I need to get cameras in there. That's the difference. That's why I've got 2 of them. The whole point is now, if I'm shooting in here, it's all going in there. So none of it's coming back out here. It should work out a lot better for me. But anyway, we've had loads of questions on this one because people wanted to see what's behind the filters, what's the difference between the old one and the new one, what's the fan look like, and everything else like that. So here's a little video. Okay, so some of you asking about the spray booth, why I've done it a certain way and all the bits and pieces. Now, this still isn't finished. To be honest, I haven't had a chance to get down the builders merchants to get the new hosing that I need for doing this in the solid state we spoke about yesterday. I'll cover more about it on Monday, but a lot of you have asked about this particular setup, why I've done it, why I haven't done it a certain way, so I thought I'd explain it. Now, these units, we'll call them units, technically they're spray booths, they're extraction units, so they're pulling all the air out. The whole point that I have it like this is so I can get you guys in, and normally if you're at home and obviously you're not filming and all the rest of it, you want it to be as hooded as at all possible. That way you're stopping the particles that you're spraying from your airbrush going anywhere but in that direction, and that's really what you want to do. Because I'm doing this and open and we need cameras, because you don't want cameras right on top of you, so you need to have them set quite far apart and done all the way, and then that way you can crop in and things like that. So because of that, the way I work on it is the biggest surface area possible. So if I'm shooting in this rough direction, it's all going to get pulled that way. That's why you need 2. Technically, day to day, you will never need 2 of these things. You just extend the actual cone shape, so it's all just going down into this guy, because at the end of the day, it will get rid of it. Now, a couple of questions. People have asked, like, why I've got to strip down the middle. That's very simple. It's because the way that the filter system actually works, if I pop it out, you can see we have these guys here, which is actually what we do, and you've asked me to have a look inside these, so I'll show you. But these little nobules, now obviously we can take them off, okay, and everything else, but also it enables me to get to the power, and if I wanted to manually just to go into turn 1 off perhaps and stuff like that. So it's just easier to have them in. Yes, you could take these off and then squeeze them together, but from my point of view, I'm thinking it's really not worth it. We can just do it this way, and then we'll be good to go, all right, and do it in that way. The other thing you guys were asking me was about, I don't know if I can do it simply, hold on. If I just put you guys down a minute, you can have a look, okay? So what we need to do is just pop this off, okay, unscrew these a little bit, and then the front will pop off, hopefully. They'll come away nice and easy. There we go. So just pop this out and we get the filter out. You've asked to see the difference between what a brand new one looks like inside, okay, and what an old one looks like. And to be honest, I can change this filter here. Normally what I would suggest is having it turned on when you do this, because the dust that falls out of it as you maneuver it. So this is the stuff, okay? So all I do is I buy rolls of this stuff, and this is standard industrial filter. Okay, so it's got the white side on the back, you've got the blue side on the front. It captures all the particles, so nothing really nasty ends up going back into the system. So it catches probably, I don't know, maybe 50-70% of everything that's going in. Obviously the smaller particles are going to find their way through, all right, but it is really, really cheap. Now I've done films on it. All I do is buy a giant roll, and then I end up doing this too, and I keep them under here. I literally just chop them all up into rectangles like this, okay, and then when it gets a little bit old, I just push them in, all right? But as I say, I have done a video on it before, and we've covered it loads of times, all right? But it's just a lot cheaper because it works out, one of these filters now works out about 55 pence, including delivery and everything else, versus the other ones, which I think are about 12 quid, all right? Right, okay, so down in here, this is what it looks like. Okay, new, clean, sparkly, lovely. Okay, and everything else. If I do this, I can get the camera right in there, hopefully. There we go. So as you can see, there's your fan. It's a drum type. It's not your normal one and all the rest of it. And it is literally just as empty hole. This is my older one. So as you can see, the fan has got a lot of dust and it has got actually quite a bit of build up on it. But you could just get in there with a brush, give it a brush round, turn it on and then whiz it all out. There is a little bit of dust down in there, but really from a point of view of looking at your overalls at it, you can see obviously nice and shiny new. The big difference is the earthing. There is no earthing strap that I have on this one, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it across so it's all earthed and we're all good and everything else. But generally you might see that motor in there. Doesn't look too bad at all, considering it's been running now forever. And if I just turn it on, it's still really, really nice and probably not too loud. I'm hoping it's not too loud. Okay, let that spin down. But the bearings are all really good. So it takes forever to slow down. Okay, really, really nice. There we go. Right, as for it doing its bit, see, good bearings on that because it's still going now. And I say that's been running 10 years. Now, for you guys that are wondering, obviously the hose system comes in here. There will be a join, a flow where it goes in together in behind there. And then up in here, this is where it all sort of goes. As you can see, it comes up through the floor, it comes along, and then it goes into here, which is a solid pipe. Okay, so then I've drilled through the cupboard, used a core bit and gone clean out the wall and all the rest of it, and then it'll end up out here, and that's it. And this is just one of those little flaps, and when it's running, I suppose I should turn it on so you can see as it's running. But that's all we've done. We've got it in one of these. Really straightforward. And then that will look into my cupboard, hopefully you can see down there, is on the other side of this wall, because this is the outside of my studio. Everything else runs along the back there and everything else like that. So you see, very simple. You can put it straight up into one of them and do it like that, and that is it. It's a simple little system, but it's great because it's venting clean to the outside and not getting any nasties in your home. And there we go, it's that simple. As I say, you can vent it. Definitely though, this is an extraction unit, not a filtration unit, all right? So don't think that this is going to be fine, because obviously it's all been caught in the filters and the bits and pieces, because really at the end of the day, all the nasty stuff is in here and being exhausted out. So don't have it into your room, just make sure it goes clean out. Also, a load of the guys are speaking about obviously venting it into things like storage spaces, lofts and stuff like that. Ideally you want it clean out of your home. It doesn't matter, the way I spoke about it, down underneath this floor there is like a cellar, but it's not a proper cellar in the true sense, because it's only about 5 foot tall. Okay, it's great for crawling around in and just to put junk and garbage in, but I wouldn't use it technically in. So when I was talking about venting it through the floor, I would have probably gone down and then to a vent brick that's down there and then out, rather than having to cut a hole through the wall. I thought if we needed to, but looking at the airflow and all the rest of it, if we're using solid system, we should be absolutely fine with no problem with it. But this one here, as you can see, got the metal grid. That is this back to front. So what I do is I cut the cardboard grid off, pull this out, it's stapled in, it's horrible and messy, and then all we do is we replace it then with the others, which I've got a few which I've done over the years. Yeah, so I can show you with a new one if I was to knock this system up. So that's all we've actually done. You just take the cardboard stuff off, you're left with this at the end of the day, and then what we do is, blue side front, we just lay this over the top and we poke it in the holes. To say, I've been doing this now for a couple of years, purely because it's so much cheaper. And you can just pop it all the way around. Okay. And there we go, you have a nice new filter. So if you wanted to pop that in, you could pop that in. Or as you say, you can buy these ones. I think they come in packs of 3. They're quite expensive though, for what they are and all the rest of it. It's probably a finer mesh, a catch mesh on the back that's on one of these. I'm not saying that these are any better or worse or anything else. I think these ones are obviously more of a quality item, but if you're going to change your filters a lot, then obviously it does get very, very expensive. So if you're a heavy sprayer, using a lot of acrylic paints, perhaps things like that, you can clog one of these very, very quickly. Okay, but obviously this is a quality item. This is more of a quick fix and all the rest of it. So whilst it does work, it's probably not the best. Okay, if you want the best, you're going to go with something like this, but this will work quite adequately. So there we go, that's the new system. As I say, I'm about to give it a test this afternoon, and we're going to spray the Meteor and see how we get on with it, so it should be a lot of fun. So hopefully it's all going to work really well. As I said before, I'm just going to get the proper pipes for it, because to say I did that thing, yeah, I'll go and get some pipes, that looks about right, got home, no it's not, it's wrong size. So I need to take them back, get them changed for the right size for the hosing and my extractor and everything else like that. Technically it is that standard 4-inch, I think it's 4-inch or 5-inch, whichever one it is, I've got the wrong one, but it's the one you use for tumble dryer hoses and internal ducting, stuff like that. You know, very straightforward, very easy to fit and everything else like that. So we're going to put that in there, get that sorted out. But this afternoon I'm going to give it its first go in anger, and obviously we're going to get on with painting the Meteor. And as I said, I've been back and I've watched all the parts now to bring me up to speed. But what we're going to do is get primed, get this one sorted, and then we're probably going to do the camo, then we'll do the metal work afterwards. So we're going to be using the MRP paints on this one as well. So it should be a lot of fun. And as I say, because we've re-riveted this thing as a whole and everything else like that, we're hoping the details are really going to pop with it, and it's going to give us something really nice at the end of the day. So looking forward to getting on with that one and really giving those two a test in anger, seeing exactly what the volume levels are like with both of them going. To be honest, they don't sound too bad to me, but it'd be interesting to see what the cameras pick up. So, but again, this is the thing, quality over quantity. If I've got the time, I can edit the sound as well, because I say sound is such a big part of what we do here. It's not just all image quality. So in post, in editing, I can adjust all the audio tracks and stuff like that to make it cleaner, crisper sound and everything else as we make our way through. And that really brings us up to today. So as I said, quite a funny week. As I said, this is going to be our sort of new thing, how we're going to do it. And then obviously if we get any good questions, especially the guys from YouTube, you want to get your questions answered, hopefully I'll be able to do it on today's like today as we make our way through and everything else like that. But I know a lot of you in YouTube land were asking about spray booths, about what's behind it and all the rest of it. So there we go. I hope that sort of answers the question on those. A couple of things going on at the moment. Obviously we've got the group builds and the SIG. So the SIG that's going on at the moment, which is what I'll be starting mine next week, is the warts and all SIG. Now originally it was just supposed to be A10s, but we've opened it up to anything that is subsonic ground attack. So that includes helicopters as well. So basically this is the wingy things SIG for this quarter. Okay, so basically anything that's subsonic, so no supersonic aircraft unfortunately, but subsonic ground attack aircraft, so you can put into that one. Very good. That is running until the 21st of May. As I said, my one for it, and Steve's doing one as well, is the giant A10 tank buster. Big kit. I've got a lot of aftermarket for it as well. So what I'm going to show you on Monday during the vlogs, I'm going to get it all out and show you exactly what I'm going to do, my plan of attack for working on that particular kit, and how really it's going to work and everything else like that. So you want to watch Monday's vlog, and I'll go through it all with you on that one. The other one as well at the moment is the Fire Fuel, or is it Fuel Fryer? Whichever one it is. My German is that bad. Okay. Basically, I must be German. For this particular one, it is basically anything that's German. And okay, we've already had that thing where people are saying, but can I enter this, that and the other? It's German, guys. Let's keep it German. So why would you want to enter an Austrian or you know, a whatever, you know, an Australian version, but it was German made and everything else? It's got to be German. It's got to be in German markings. It's as simple as that. Let's not overcomplicate it. It's very straightforward, all right? So anything World War II pretty much counts, no problem at all, but modern stuff as well, okay? But it must be German. So things like a Phantom doesn't count because it's an American aircraft by design. That's the whole point to it, in German markings. So I know there's all that grey thing about Airbus and everything else, but again, guys, you're trying to overcomplicate things. It's just supposed to be a group build, okay? So that's just keep it nice, concise in that one area. And as I say, for me, I am going to be doing, which will be up with you on Monday, where is it? Here it is this. To be my entry into that particular group build. So I'm going to be doing 262. Again, it'd be nice doing that sort of motley camo on there and everything else that goes through. I have got some aftermarket coming for it. As I said, in the review for this one, you'll see on Monday, we've actually got the wheels in that, but I've also got coming for it as well the photo etch for the external and the internal, and a colour photo etch set for the cockpit as well. So as I say, we should be updating that one very nicely as we make our way through. Okay, so again, and thank you for the guys who are sending me reference photos on this, including the one from South Africa, because they've got the only one apparently. So it'd be really interesting to get those ones, and we can make our mind up if we're going to rivet it or not. I might put faded rivets in, which is something you could do. I'm pretty sure if you was to put in just working it. Not like huge big rivets, but quite light ones. You could give it the rivety look without looking proper like rivets. Don't know. But again, this is this type of thing. I could have a play, we could have a go on Buster with it, see what it looks like. If it doesn't work, we won't bother with that one. But again, that's going to be my entry into that one. So what I'm going to do is, from my point of view, we're going to be doing the A10, be my first proper build of the year. We're going to do that one, get that one done, and then I'm going to do, obviously that guy is going to come right in behind it. Okay, once those are done, I'm going to do a bit of armor, and for that, which you'll see next week, I don't want to spoil the surprise, I've ordered it, it'll be in next week. We have got a very nice piece of armor coming in, and it's German as well, so from that point of view, it should be a lot of fun with that one. So I said, don't panic, I'm not just going back to doing aircraft either, I am going to do a little bit of everything still, just as we make our way through everything on these. So there we go, that's about it. I'd say busy week trying to sort all this out, trying to get things back in control, but I'm feeling so much more invigorated. That point of coming in here, I'm really excited. This afternoon, I'd say it's midday now, I'm doing this morning, so I can spend all afternoon doing this. I can quickly edit this one up, get that one sorted, and then the rest of the day is my own to get this guy sorted and painted up and everything else like that. So there we go, until Monday guys, happy modelling, take care, and I'm going to leave you with some of your great work.
Step on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out low. Was it your plan? Can't understand. I love the air you bring, everything. Under the sun, a fire is burning. You tell me to hold on tight. I wish that we could stay here forever. I wanna remember. Oh, the sight of you brings the fight in me, makes me wanna move. Fingers down your spine, looking in my eyes, feel your hands on mine. Tonight we're freer than ever. I wanna remember. Oh, we run every endeavor. I wanna remember. Step on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out, no. Was it your plan? Can't understand. I love the air